Hey, hi everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited today because I finally have the wonderful Ayers sisters on with me. They are the folks that you must call when you want to know, what do I do with my stuff? I get asked that question constantly. So I'm excited because now we're going to get the answers. So welcome. So
Thank you.
tell me,
Thank you.
tell me exactly what the two of you do.
I will
I'll let
start.
Ann start.
Ayers Estate Services is a full service resource for people who are downsizing or moving to retirement to sell all of the valuable and useful things they can no longer use or just simply don't have room for.
Right. So the question that I get all the time is, should I have an estate sale? What should I do with my stuff? So the fact you ladies know who wants this and who wants that, because it's not that simple, correct? You want to maybe explain how that works.
Right. And
That's
what
right.
we should really tell you is why we have so many resources for selling. Because we have core businesses that have nurtured us through the years, and we have many sources who we've used in our core businesses. Anne is an art consultant, and I'm an interior decorator. So we rely on these vetted people to help us sell these things. We have antiques dealers, auction people, consignment people, and collectors. Can you think of anyone else, Anne?
No, but I think we should emphasize that we've been working with these people for years and we trust
Yeah.
them implicitly.
And that's really
Right.
important when it comes to any antiques and art, and because and I say, jewelry, you don't know what you're looking at. Somebody could say, oh, this, I'll give you $100 for this and it's worth 50,000. So you really have to go to people who know.
Absolutely. We're
For the
kind of,
$50,000 stuff, we need to call an appraiser in for sure.
absolutely. But we're the bridge between knowing where to go and making the connection.
And that's so important because many people just think they can call, XYZ house sale, and they're either going to get nothing. I mean, I don't want to, I'm sure there's some great house salespeople out there, but it's more complicated than that. And by
Absolutely.
calling
Absolutely.
Anne and Doris, you can sort of sort it out for them.
Well, you are so right about the house sale people. There are many good ones, but it does take the house sale specialist who has the following that will buy what you're selling. And it depends on neighborhood, it depends on city, it depends on whatever it is that you have collected to get the right crowd there.
Right.
Well, also
Go ahead.
the people we choose who often have mailing lists of collectors for very specific things. So let's say you have an entire basement full of model trains. We might know the house sales specialist who has the train collector, that sort of thing.
That's great because I was just in home, and I'm not representing the person, but they had a lot of specific collections and then some mid-century modern furniture, but it was very specific, and it wasn't just like, okay, I bought this furniture at Marshall Fields in 1950, and actually that might be worth something, but
I think we should go back to your question about how do we start?
okay.
Where do we begin? Because there are some things that are very important about that.
Okay.
Dor, do you want to go through some of that?
Yeah, what we really like to do, the very first thing is to have photos of what people want to sell. And if they're not able to take the photos, we often rely on their grown children to help us out. If there are seniors moving, sometimes they're not able to handle the camera on their phones and send us things. So we rely on their helpers. And once we see the photos, then we're
I could
able
do that too.
yeah, our realtor friend, yes.
Yes.
Once we see the photos, then we're able to determine whether we need to make a visit or if we're just not able to help them. And then we recommend good donation sources.
We work very closely with the organizers. And
Okay.
this is a step that comes probably after the photographs.
And by organizers, do you work with downsizing organizers, or what do the organizers do?
Well, our close associates are NAPO, National Association of Professional Organizers,
Okay,
who have credentials that are really very important.
good.
And if there is a lot in the house that looks as if it is, just really junk, like old magazines and
Right.
things of that nature, the organizer will be able to eliminate a lot of that. And then the photographs are much more valuable.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. So maybe
and that
we
may
have
be our first suggestion.
Mhm.
because they're going to know what's really garbage.
They have worked with us.
Okay. So
Well,
they're
we-
Fooled them.
okay.
We don't rely on them to know what's valuable, but we try to have them get the periphery out of the way so we can see the good stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Because they know that magazines are not valuable, or,
Most of them are not.
most of them. Right. But they
Unless they're from the 50s.
right. Right. Of course, my mother saved the Life magazine when JFK was killed, and I was a kid, and I just cut it all up. She should have put it someplace more safe. Anyway, yes. So that's great. So they can come in, and they also will help declutter, so that the people need to get rid of that stuff too.
Yeah.
So, we got to leave the house empty. So,
Well, the important thing about that is that the photographs will go to potential buyers or consignment. And so
Right.
they should be clear. People sometimes send us pictures of desks that are covered with stuff. And
Yeah.
you can't sell to a consignment store with a photograph like that.
Yes, that's a really good point, because that goes for selling homes as well.
Mm.
That people can't see underneath all of that kind of thing. So
One thing
tell
we should
me.
also
Mhm.
emphasize
Go ahead.
is one thing we should also emphasize is that it's an education for our clients to know that they're not going to get top dollar for their goods. The people we sell to often have shops, and they have to buy at a price that makes sense for them to make a profit when they put it in their stores. So we try to explain to people, even though they paid $5,000 for something in the 70s, they're not going to get nearly that today. And this is difficult for people, very difficult.
Mhm.
Right. Go ahead and speak to that more, Anne, because that is a huge issue. And I want anyone who's listening, that I think the more people understand this, it's not just coming from me who wants to say, oh, just get rid of everything and throw it out so I can sell your house. That isn't it.
That's right.
It's a reality.
Yes, it is. And one of the things that we have found is that the photographs will show us that more than one resource will be necessary. If there are collectibles, that goes to a certain kind of perhaps design shop. If there is great furniture from mid-century, that will go to a furniture person that we work with who sells strictly mid-century. So
Or
there
maybe
may
a
be
mid-century auction.
Yeah, yeah, 3 or 4 different resources that will get parts of whatever is being sold.
Right, right. And so it's really important to, and it takes time. That's the other piece to this. You got to take a little time to go through this, but not take 7 months to do this. That
Exactly.
you need to, and we save a lot of time by hiring you two, because then it's not this hit or miss. You know, if you just call a random estate sale person,
Mhm.
they're not going to know what you know.
Well, I have a question for you, Betsy.
Mhm.
Do you advise that a house be empty, or do you like it to have some scale furniture in it?
I do like it. In the perfect world, I do want furniture left. I don't want it to be over cluttered. But if I had my druthers, I would have everything out that is bookshelves and little things and all of that. And I would like to have furniture there left to stage around so that people can get an idea.
Often this is a difficult coordination,
Yes.
because we have perhaps a shop that will take the furniture, but not yet.
Exactly. Or, you know, and it is a coordination, and that's why people downsizing need to hire professionals who are accustomed to doing this dance, because we want a truckload to go out of this, but we want this to stay. And it really makes a difference in selling your home if it looks right.
Do you ever advise an empty house?
Yeah, if it's really bad, I'm going to take that back. If it's not appealing to today's buyer.
Okay.
So I would not advise an empty house. I would advise for everything to be cleared out and for us to stage.
Mm.
That would be my number one suggestion, to invest $1,000 to $3,000, depending on the size of the house, could be 5 or 6. But staging a house makes a huge difference. And I really advise people to deep clean and stage. They don't always want to do it, though.
Well, we always ask our potential clients if they've spoken with their realtor about this issue.
Right. Yes. It's very important. And I have sold homes where people take out X number of pieces. We leave some of the big pieces. The stagers come in and work around those pieces, making it less expensive. You don't have to bring in a bed, for instance. We'll just put a different bedspread on it. And that has helped a lot.
Mhm.
Then you got to have the truck come back. But they go by the load, usually, I would think.
The other aspect of this that we deal with as best we can is that moving, no matter why you're moving, is, traumatic. In some cases, it has to do with parting with things you really don't want to part with. But one of the things that we do, once the photographs are, out there and we're working, we spend a lot of time talking with people about their absolute objectives. And it seems to ease them in making decisions.
That is huge. And
A
I
lot
can't
of
thank
it
you
is a
enough.
psychological study, with the children not wanting anything and the parents feeling very bad that they're giving everything up. So we do spend a lot of time taking photos, helping them save photos of things that they have to part with, and making sure that no one in the family wants to take any of the more treasured pieces.
I love this because I know, as you do, that by finding homes and finding somebody else that appreciates their things brings great joy to people. And
Yes.
and one of the reasons I love working with you is because you care. You're passionate about the people and their things. And that's really our purpose, is to make this as painless as possible for the older people that are moving out.
Interesting. You say that they want it to go to someone who can love it. That seems to be the number one concern when it's difficult to make.
Even if it's a donation. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I say to people, the very last thing that we want is, we do not want any of this ending up in a landfill. So we're going to work very hard to make sure that someone loves it or desperately needs it and can use it and can cherish it and raise up the next generation.
But we had an experience
And there are some wonderful.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. There are some wonderful resources in the area that now pick up and take things to warehouses where they either sell them or give them away to people who need furniture. So we try very hard to use only the most conscientious haulers who have resources to put them in good hands.
That's great.
Speaking of the children of people who might be moving, that is our ideal client.
Okay.
Because they are faced with not only the difficulty of having to convince someone in the family that it's time, but they have the entire household, whatever it might
Project
be, to deal with. These are not easy people to find because it's not a group that we can address as a group.
Right. And often it is the crisis that causes an emergency, and they don't have time to look around.
Right.
So hopefully, collectively, we will be able to get out to speak to the public, to let them understand that these resources are here. They're here to we're not going to stop the process. Nobody is getting out alive. So we might as well make the process more enjoyable, happier, and a whole lot easier on everyone involved. So
that's our goal.
And I am so excited to be working with you, and we shall see. I can't wait to. Some people I deal with, they got their mind made up and they're doing this. You never know. And then I got to let them run. So we're gonna do some great.
Well,
things.
we love realtors who know what they're doing and know to call us.
Yes, absolutely. We want to, again, just to reiterate, our goal is we each have our little piece of the pie to make the client's transition as smooth and as powerful. And, we want them to be involved as well.
Well, and we want them to have that modicum of control that I think they will have when they trust who they're working with.
Absolutely. So I want to thank both of you for joining me. I'm so glad we finally got to do this. If anybody wants to reach Ann and Doris, their website is on the YouTube video, but they can certainly contact me or my website. Just call me up, text me, and I will point you in the right direction. So thank you so much.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Everybody have a good Friday. Stay safe. Oh, and happy Mother's Day.
Well, to you too.
Happy Mother's Day.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
It's okay.